Hello everyone and welcome back to our YouTube channel Drishti IAS English. My name is Pragya and in today's episode of In Focus, we are going to discuss a very important topic. The title of our today's discussion is Ancient Step Wells as a Solution to Water Crisis. In this discussion, we will see what are these step wells and how we need to restore our archaeological marvels and help them in conserving water so as India can mitigate its water crisis. In this discussion, we are going to study about what are these step wells? We are also going to see the depleting India's water tables. Then we are also going to see the climate change impact on India's groundwater. We are also going to ponder upon the need for conservation of these ancient archaeological marvels. And in the end, we are going to see a practice question for your prelims examination and a practice question for your mains examination. So now let us proceed to understand the background of our today's topic. And if I talk about the background of our today's topic, it is asking a very important question, and the question is, can India's ancient step wells solve its water crisis? We all know many of the Indian states are reeling under a groundwater crisis and they are finding new ways to conserve the water so that they can be less dependent on groundwater for their needs. So this is also a technique that is being pondered upon and that is being used to harvest waters. These step wells are the ancient water harvesting systems that were used during the ancient times. So the restoration activities are going on and many charitable trusts such as the Aga Khan Trust is trying to restore these step wells. So now let us understand what are these step wells. So if I talk about these step wells in very simple terms and make you understand in very simple terms, they are a multi-subterranean structures and they have a flight of stairs which go down deep within the water. Let us see a pictorial representation of these step wells so that you can understand better, and this is a pictorial representation of these step wells. As you can see, there are vertical shafts, then there are cascading galleries, and then there are flight of stairs, and all of these leads to a common source of water. So for centuries these step wells were catering to the water needs of the local communities, but what happened was, after the industrialization or after the development, they lost its charm and importance, and you can say that they were replaced by modern water systems. But what is happening is they are now making a comeback. Why? Because India is reeling under a severe water crisis and we need to find new ways to conserve water so as to mitigate this crisis. So the long overlooked architectural wonders are making a comeback as a growing number of conservation architects, historians and urban planners fight to restore them to their original states. And if you ask me the history of these step wells, so they date back to the Indus Valley civilization. Indus Valley civilization was the most urban civilization and it taught us about the importance of water conservation, and these step wells gained importance as engineering or archaeological marvels in the 11th to the 15th century. So these are actually archaeological marvels or engineering marvels. Whenever we visit a old monument, we often think that how did they get their water, how water was supplied to their kitchens or for their general use. So all of these structures are very important historically as well. Now let us ponder upon, before pondering upon that whether the step wells can solve India's water crisis or not, let us see the depleting, or let us ponder upon the depleting water tables in India. So some 17% of India's groundwater aquifers are overexploited according to UNESCO. What do we mean by this overexploitation? That water is being extracted at a greater rate than it is able to recharge. See, water is an infinite resource. We'll have water. It is a renewable resource, but it is getting depleted at a much faster rate than it can recharge itself. We were also talking about this in a Environment Primer lecture, lecture number 2, UN Water Conference that took place in 2023, in which the importance of water as a sustainable development goal was being discussed. So this is being discussed at a very large scale. In fact, there is water shortage going on all around the globe. In fact, India is reeling under a heavy groundwater crisis, and many states are also facing the depletion of groundwater. And it can be attributed to the erratic monsoon seasons of India that are happening. So this year also there was an impact of El Nino, and the monsoon was not as much as we receive it in an annual year. Even though we receive monsoon, 70% of surface water in India is polluted. 70% of surface water in India is not fit for consumption, and it is polluted. So that is why also we need to conserve the water so that we can make this water suitable for consumption. So if we talk about the climatic change impact on India's groundwater, according to the UNESCO, India is the world's largest extractor of groundwater, but our groundwater is depleting at a much faster rate, often due to the global warming. Due to the global warming, we are using our groundwater at a much faster rate than it can recharge itself. The groundwater level in India is estimated to have declined by 61%. Look at the number, 61% between 2007 to 2017. And most of the Indian states such as Rajasthan, such as Punjab are reeling under a severe groundwater crisis. We were also recently discussing about the Pusa 44 ban by the Punjab government because it is a very water intensive crop. And this in turn will not only threaten the water supply to the citizens of India, it will also threaten the food security in India. Why? Because most of the staple crops such as wheat, rice, maize are water intensive. And if you talk about the pollution level of water, as I was discussing this before also, that 70% of India's water, surface water, is not fit for human consumption. We need external purification mechanisms, and India ranks 120 out of 122 countries in the water quality index. So this simply means that we need to have much more positive action efforts towards making water fit for human consumption, and that is why we are searching for alternatives. And this is why we are discussing that whether we could restore these step wells for mitigating India's water crisis. Now let us understand the need for restoration of these ancient step wells. So as I was discussing this before also, these ancient step wells were in very simple terms large water reservoirs. They were used for water harvesting and conserving of water. So the government emphasizes the need to use India's historic water management systems for solution to these problems. And the most proactive government today is the Rajasthan government, which is collaborating with various international institutions such as the World Bank to revive these ancient archaeological structures such as the step wells. Then not only their restoration helped the self-sufficiency of towns in drought-prone areas, many of the sites have also drawn in tourists, boosting the local economy. So what happens is when these archaeological marvels are being restored, because they have historic and other interests in them, that is why the tourists flock to these structures. And the most recent example is the Turji step well of Jodhpur, which has recently been restored. So this Turji step well of Jodhpur in Rajasthan attracts a lot of tourists and has become a tourist hotspot after its restoration. So in Rajasthan, the Rajasthan government is the most proactive government in this regard, and it has also launched a scheme known as the Mukhyamantri Jal Swavlamban Abhiyan, which helps the villages to make them self-sufficient for their water needs by restoring these ancient step wells. Not only the Rajasthan government, the Aga Khan Trust is also trying to restore the step wells in the Delhi. Currently, there are 32 step wells in the Delhi itself, and the most important step well that has been restored by the Aga Khan Trust is the Nizamuddin Dargah step well, because it is considered that the water of that step well was considered to be sacred. So again, it is attracting tourism. As I was explaining to you this before also, whenever we go to see an ancient monument, we often wonder that how do these people get water and what techniques did they use. So the conservationists are trying to figure out these techniques and are trying to restore our ancient structures, because that will help in conserving the rainwater which we are getting. Like if we are getting a lot of monsoon, then it will conserve much amount of rainwater. So if we are getting a good season, good monsoon season, then these restoration of these step wells can definitely help in conserving a large amount of rainwater, which can in future be used to cater to the needs of the local communities as well as increase tourism in the area. So this was all about the using of step wells as a water conservative approach to mitigate India's water crisis. With this, we come to a conclusion of our today's discussion. We have seen what are step wells. We have also analyzed that by the impact of climate change on India's depleting groundwater. We have also seen that why there is a need for restoration of these step wells and the efforts which the government as well as private charitable organizations are taking for restoring these ancient archaeological marvels. And definitely they are so huge in nature that they are self-sufficient to cater to the water needs of a full whole village, and the Rajasthan government is setting up an example in this regard by developing both the boosting historical structure, restoring them and boosting tourism as well. Now let us see a practice question for your prelims examination. So the question is, consider the following statements. Your statement number 1 is, step wells are multi-storied subterranean structures with significant ornamental and architectural features. Your statement number 2 is, they can help in effective mitigation of water crisis in India. Which of the following statements given above are true? Your options are, option A is 1 only, option B is 2 only, option C is both 1 and 2, and option D is neither 1 nor 2. Kindly drop your answers in the comment box below. Now let us analyze a practice question for your mains examination. So the question is, highlight the importance of ancient water harvesting systems in mitigating water crisis in India. So firstly, you will explain the ancient water harvesting systems such as these step wells. You will write that yes, they are very important because they are self-sufficient to cater to a whole village water needs. Then you will see that not only this, they are historically important, so they will boost the local tourism as well. And you can conclude that yes, India needs to find alternative methods for conserving the rainwater if we could have a good monsoon season. I hope this session was insightful for you. If you have any feedback regarding this session, kindly drop it in the comment box below. If you liked today's video and found this discussion to be helpful, kindly like the video and subscribe to our channel for more such updates. Thank you.